Morning. I wanted to, I see that nobody's on right now, but I know I'm doing my recording a little bit early today as I just need to based on an obligation that has come up in the last couple days here. So I appreciate you guys being flexible. I am broadcasting from home. And what I wanted to do was get you started on the problems that I have assigned for chapter 12. Let's take a peek at our calendar really quickly so that we know where we're at. So, oopsie, wrong class. Let me just let me get in the correct Blackboard here for you guys. So we want to be in working drawings using Creo. And when we look at our course calendar here, when we look at our course calendar, that we are in chapter 12 today. I did make a slight adjustment. We've been looking at the tutorials at the beginning of the week here that are found in chapter 12. There's 3 of them. There's one for a base, there's a cover plate, and then there's a round cover. Those 3 are assigned and they are due on Monday at the end of the day. Now, I want to tell you one more time that I do differ in the final product of the drawing that the author creates. I'm correcting some of his mistakes or really looking at what a better way to dimension would be, especially on the side of the geometric dimensioning and tolerance. So I want to be sure that you know and understand that I don't want you to do it exactly the final product exactly the way they're doing it in their tutorial. To find what I want you to do, please go to chapter 12, Tolerancing and GD&T, and then go to the tutorial and problem guides here. Okay, if we click on there, you'll notice that the first 3 that are here are those tutorials, and going to be the final drawing that I want you to create, and it's also how I show you to do it in the demo video. So if we click on the tutorial for the base, this is the final product that I want you to create. Okay, so do it like this. So the datums are a little bit different. I'm using the features of size in terms of the length and the width of the datums so that we get center planes for things like our ear and the 2 holes here to be centered on that base rather than from a corner. So, and then there's a couple different differences that I have as well beyond that. So make sure that you watch the video for the base, which was on November 8th, I believe, if you look in the recordings. But then make sure that you use this as your final guide. Now, if you differ a little bit in placement in the in the dimensions and the views, as long as you're following the ANSI standards, and you guys are familiar with those at this point, I have no problem with you doing it. But make sure that you have, for instance, like the datums in line with the dimensions in these cases, because then it recognizes that it's a feature of size and that the datum is actually on the center plane of each one of those features rather than on the edges. Okay, so watch that stuff closely. If you have any questions about the GD&T or the dimensioning that we're doing here, make sure to let me know and ask. Okay, but it's on the GD&T class and the tolerance that you've had in the classes up until this point. All right. If you haven't had GD&T with me yet, that's not a make or break here. Okay. Just make sure that you're following it then exactly the way I'm doing it, so that you are using it in a way that goes along with the standard, but you will be following up with me then in the GD&T class, and then it'll all kind of come together for you. So it's not a prerequisite for this class, but know that then do it the way I'm telling you to. Don't deviate. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here. Then you have another tutorial guide for the cover plate, for the round cover, and then I added the first one for 12.1, which we're going to be looking at today. 12.1, I did go right along with what the book has, so and it's in the problem description at the end of the chapter. This is going to be what we're going to be demoing at the beginning of the lecture here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be jumping into. Let me see here. I think I'm good. So I'll keep this one up. I'm going to get rid of this guy for right now because we don't need that one. We've talked about that one already. I'm going to go to, let me kind of come back here. I'm going to go to Creo. I've already opened up Creo. I've set up my working directory here. And so I'm ready to start the drawing. Now, I'm going to peek underneath my document camera. I already created the model here. You will have to create the model first and then create the drawing. Now, be a little bit strategic when you're doing this, because if you are, then the dimensions that are there are going to, go along with what's going to be required. So use the dimensions that are on here, try to place them kind of the way that they are. I used a front view, okay, and extruded through this way, and then I added kind of this, the cylinder on the top, and then put my hole all the way through. I did not use the whole wizard. Okay, I actually extruded and removed material to put this hole all the way through all surfaces. I just find that it works better. I'm not crazy about the whole wizard as they do it. Sometimes you have to use it, but in this case, I chose to do it as an extrusion to remove the material as a circle or a hole through the whole thing. So pay attention to that, and then it'll, like I said, it'll kind of set you up for the dimensions to be a little bit easier to put in. I'm going to go back to Creo, and I've already got my model done. So I'm going to create my drawing. Okay, so I'm going to do a new drawing and call this my table block. You try to put a space, it's not going to like it. And then drawing number here, it wants 121001 in the problem statement. So going right along with that. I know it already exists. I'll do a 1. All right. Now I'm going to browse for my table block, which is over here. Open. And then I'm going to grab they want us to do the 3 view. So don't grab 3D view, grab 3 view. I'm doing my LTCA border. Okay. So I should be good here. So it should come in and place all of my views for me. Yep, it does. And then it's suggesting here that we use a scale of 1/2. Okay. So we'll change that in just a bit. I'll put in here. This is 1/30 10 hot rolled steel. HRS is good. Okay, so it fills that in for me in the title block, and now this stuff is available. So let's change our scale to 1/2 right away. Double click on that, 0.5. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of do my cleaning up first. I'm going to get rid of all of my axes and then I'm going to a little bit. I'm going to go to annotations, get rid of the current ones that are on the drawing right now. So those highlight. I'm going to do a delete and then just kind of roller in and out, and that's left. I'm going to go back to general, and then I'm going to kind of place my views a little bit differently. So I'm going to unlock. So underneath layout, if you're not there yet, you want to just toggle it off so it's not gray. And now I'm going to use my front view here, and I'm going to kind of move this around a little bit so that I have little bit of room here, top and bottom, to where I anticipate my my dimensions to go. So I'm gonna start with that. Go just up slightly here. All right, so I think that should be good for what we're anticipating for dimensioning. So I'm going to start off by looking at my top view here. I'm going to put my center lines in first. I don't know why I do that. I do it because I think the book had done this, like this. I'm going to hit cancel, then I'm going to go to my front view, put those same center lines in. That looks good. Apply. Okay. Now, again, they're a lot easier here in the individual drawing because we're able to, I don't want to move the view. Let me lock that view again. I actually want to see, it's going to be temperamental. I just know it. What if I hit just, I don't know if it's a part of the, just before, this is my favorite part. I'm trying to select that that center line so that I can just move it down. So let me go like this again. Okay, it's there, and then, yeah. annotation. Like that. Nope. No, it won't. It won't. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for right now. Bugger. Okay, and then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to show that, apply, cancel, and yeah, it worked perfectly fine before, but in Create, we'll go back to it and maybe I can select it a little bit later. Maybe if I go to the Annotate tab, maybe it'll select, oh, there it is. Yep, now I can do that. See, I've got to be in the Annotate tab to get at that. Dang it, such a little picky, right? A little picky. So I'm going to go over here since I'm in my Annotate tab. I was in the layout, that's why I guess it didn't want to pick those. Okay, so I have my center lines in place. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some dimensions, okay? Add some dimensions. So I'm going to start on my top view. Now I did read through the problem statement already, and actually on my printer, let me go grab the final drawing so you can see what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's look underneath my document camera, and we'll notice here now what I printed out. I guess I didn't print out in monochrome, but that's okay. This is the final drawing that we're going to be, working on here. So in the top view, I am going to be adding this should be a perpendicularity. I'm sure it was. It maybe on my printer. I know I'm getting a little low on ink, so that might be the reason that it doesn't show as perpendicularity here. So I'm thinking probably the case. So so this is going to be the view that we need on here. So I'm going to be choosing the dimensions that are 2.5, 3 1/4, 1 1/4, and then the 1 inch diameter hole after. So let's go back to Creo over here. Let's work on that top view first. Select that. I'm going to go into the show annotations and then, kind of put all these here. Now, instead of trying to figure out which dimension it is over here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the ones that I know that I need. I need the 2.5, and it's going to go black for me, and it'll automatically check over here. So that's good. I need the 1 inch dimension here. That's going to be my hole diameter. The 3/4 of an inch I'm going to do in another place, okay? The 3/4 of an inch diameter or 1 3/4 inch diameter I'm going to put somewhere else. The 1 1/4 I'm going to do here. The 3 1/4 I'm going to do here. And I think that's it for the ones available to me right now. So I'm going to hit apply and cancel, and the ones that I didn't select should go away. Okay. So now I'm going to do a little bit of work here in the background because when you see it, it's going to look like a nominal dimension. Why is that 0? I don't want that. I just want this 0 and 0. Okay. Not sure why that's coming in like that. No. Just want the 1 inch dimension. Why is it? Okay, all right. So this is going to come in at 1 inch, and it probably is also probably 2-place decimal. Okay, probably a 2-place decimal. So it probably looks like this when you actually see it on your drawing, which is fine. I already created the drawing to make sure that because I had to create it for your guide, and it seems to remember, even though I'm starting a brand new drawing, on the model level, it seems to remember the dimensions that I created. So that's okay. That's not a big deal, actually. So so this is how they should come in. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of clean these up. So first and foremost, I'm going to drag the endpoints. I'm going to select the drawing that, or the dimension that I want, and then you'll notice that when I go over it, when it's green, I'm not even clicking on it, but when I go to the very end here, this is little dot's going to appear. I'm going to left click on it, and I'm now dragging to where I want it to be, and I'm going to release when I get it to the length I want it to be. So again, going over the top here, when it's orange, I'm going to get to the end point. I'm clicking and dragging it and releasing it where I want it to go. And I want to make sure that when I place my dimensions that they're not over the top of, right? They're not on the actual part. That's bad business. So let me see here, 3 1/4. I think I'm gonna put it up here. So this is where I had it for my drawing before, and I thought that looked a little bit better than down on the bottom where it placed it. Here. Okay, so if we look, all right, that looks good. That looks good. Now let's see. If we go to the drawing, if we relook at the drawing, you'll notice that my inch dimension is basic, and so is my 3 1/4. So let's make those two basic. I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna actually center it, click it, and I'm gonna go up here, and this dimension menu is going to appear, and I'm gonna use the basic dimension. So it puts the box around for me automatically. Okay. Same thing. I'm gonna select my 1 1/4 inch dimension and basic. Now, right here, what ends up happening if we leave it in there, I don't get any like dimension lines, and it looks kind of crowded. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up and over, and that's how it's going to dimension instead. Okay. Now I do need to add my GD&T here as well. So I'm going to do this. So if I go back to my drawing, you'll notice I have GD&T here. Now I put it on the extension line off. I'm a little old school. Do it back in the day in the earlier versions of, and it's still a valid way to do it. I like to actually put it on the surface or on the dimension, but you can point to the surface as well. I want you to know that that is a valid way to do it. You'll just notice that I default most often to the like this. The geometric tolerance here on the annotate ribbon. Excuse me. And I click on the surface. It's going to automatically, want to do. And if I click on it like this, it's going to create a leader and pull it away. So I'm going to show you. You can do that. Click where you want that, or I'm sorry, not right click. It was middle mouse button click. And now we're in the geometric tolerancing mode here. I do need to put this to flatness, or I'm sorry, perpendicularity for this particular one. And it's going to be to 4,000. So the value is going to be here, 4. And then it's going to be perpendicular to datum A. Now I haven't placed a datum yet, but I'll be doing that in my front view. So this is a way that you can call it out. All right. Now, once it is there, okay, once it's in place, I'm also going to add a datum symbol to it. So I'm going to get over on top of it. I'm just haven't clicked yet. When it's red, I click on it, and then it's going to automatically like attach, if you would, to that surface. And this is going to be actually datum B. Datum B. Okay, so right there, you can leave it just like that, and that would be a great way to show it to the standard. And sometimes it is a little bit easier actually to create it that way, because if you do it the way I did it, the only way you can do it, you got to zoom in and try to get it like right on that line, and I get it nice and close, so that on the drawing level you notice it to be in line, but it's not perfect. It doesn't snap to the line. Okay, this snaps to the line, and it's a little bit easier. So we'll show you this one too. So both ways are valid. Okay, let's go up over here, and this surface right here is going to be our datum C, but we have to make it perpendicular to datums A and B. Another geometric tolerance. And this one, if I click here, it's going to go over the top of like an extension line, and I don't like the way that looks, quite honestly. I just don't like the way that looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just kind of float it out here for right now, and then I'm going to place it. So I'll show you how I do that when I put it over there. So this needs to be within 4 thousandths as well to A and datum B. So it'll have two datums. Now, to get this attached, I need to activate it to be red, and I need to get my crosshairs here, and I just moved it, okay? And I drag it and move it. And it's pretty darn close. It's pretty darn close. I might do it one more time. And when I get my 4 guys here, now again, left mouse button is really, really close. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It looks good. It looks good. And again, if I zoom in, it won't be perfect, but when it prints, it'll be totally good. All right, and then all I want to do is now this becomes datum C. So I'm going to go back to the annotate tab, and I'm going to hit datum feature symbol. I'm going to, when it gets red, I'm going to left mouse click, right? And I'm going to go in the middle here. And I'm going to middle mouse button to place it. And this is actually going to be datum C. Okay. Now I'm going to grab onto this guy, and when I do, I'm going to kind of pull out so that he's away from that other dimension. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there is basically the dimensions in place for the top view. Okay, but I do need to do my 1-inch dimension here. So let's take a peek back to the drawing. So the dimensions that I need, or the limits that I need, are 1.0008 to 1.000. So these are limits that I've got to put in, and then I need to put the feature control frames for position and perpendicularity down below. So I'm going to first do the 1-inch dimension, and before I get too far here, it wouldn't hurt to do a quick save, right? Do a quick save. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to select that dimension after it saves. Now, because I'm home, sometimes that save function goes a little bit slower than normal. So let me grab this. I'm going to scooch it up here, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go to tolerance limits. Okay. First, before I start to look at my limits over here and put my values in, I'm actually going to switch it to 4-place decimal. Okay. And then I'm going to put my actual value here. So the top value is 0.008, the bottom value is 0.000, and you'll notice that it is in this line, on the same line. What I need that to do is to be top bottom, to be more like that fraction looking. So I'm going to go to display, and I'm just going to click ISO tolerance display style, and I'm going to click outside of it. There we go. Okay. And that's all that I need to do. So that's the size. Now, if you wanted to, you could flip the arrows, you know, of the inside here. I don't think it looks bad the way it is because both arrows show. So you could do it one way or the other. So all you do is left click on the dimension. Here, out of there. Left click on the dimension when you're in that annotate, and then it's right here in this little windowy thing. So this will back and forth, or however you want it. I'm going to do hit escape. I like the outside one better. I guess there's 3 options here. One more. Okay, that's I don't know. I think I like the way I had it before. Okay, not that one. This one. I like that one. All right, now I'm going to add my GD&T down below. So I'm going to go back to the annotate ribbon. I'm going to do my GD&T, geometric tolerance, feature control frame. Now, you'll notice that it's going to remember what I did last time, which is totally fine. And I'm going to click underneath here. And the top one that I need to do is going to be for position. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the right before my actual value, and this next one over here, I'm going to add the symbol of a diameter symbol because this is a circular feature. We want to add a diameter symbol. This is going to be to, I think it's 3 thousandths, and it's going to be to a maximum material condition. I don't know if they say that in there, but we're going to assume it because it looks like it's based on the tolerance, it looks like it's a clearance fit, even though it's small. And then we're going to have A, B, and C as our datums. And their A, B, and C are all surfaces, so they're going to be they're going to not have any modifiers in back of them. So as I look at this, this looks good. So I'm going to click outside, and it creates it, and it's permanent. Okay. Now I do need to add another feature control frame right below it, and that's going to be for perpendicularity. So let's put in our geometric tolerance. Put it right below here. Now, I'm going to try to zoom in and get it super nice and close. Oopsie. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I'm going to come down here, pan a little bit, and I'm going to try to get right over the top. There we go. Okay, cool. That's super duper close. And it's going to look good when I print it out. So I need this geometric characteristic to be perpendicular. I need this to be to 1,000 diameter maximum material condition, and this time it's only going to be perpendicular to datum A because that's the surface that it's perpendicular to. So I'm going to click out here, and that looks good. It looks good. Okay, cool. If you wanted to move this up a little bit, you can. I'm not gonna because I placed it and it's good. It may be a little bit close for my liking, but I'm not gonna take time to look at that right now. So my top view is done. My top view is done. Let's look at our front view. Go over here, and we gotta kind of do the dimensions that we need. So we need, looks like the 1.5, the 1, this 1.5, the 1.75, and yours might be clustered all kind of in a little bit. I tend to move my dimensions away from the part when I create the model, so so it kind of puts things in the nice place for me. So these are the dimensions that I want. Okay, if you have some more, I kind of move things around already, and I think it remembers it on that model level. So if you need, just not select those. And again, I select them out here to know which ones I actually want. It automatically checks them here. I'm going to say apply and cancel or close. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over each one of these dimensions and make sure that their endpoints of their extension line. So I'm going to select this one, go to the endpoint here. I'm just going to make sure that it's not on the part. Oh, it's irritating when it adds that little balloon, but it looks good. I think I did okay. All right, these guys look good. The 3.5 looks good. The 1.5 moved out a little bit. Again, it's probably remembering from when I did the original drawing on that model level, and that's okay. That's all right. Okay. Great. So, so are there now? As I look at my drawing, okay, when I did mine originally, I put my 1 3/4 out on the side. That's fine, but they seem to be fitting in here. I'm going to leave that. This one is good. That one's good. The 1.5. I need to add a 6.5 inch diameter here or 6.5 inch length over the whole thing. So let's go over here and put that overall dimension in. Now I'm going to scooch the 1.5 up a little bit so that I can get it in here kind of close to my border. This is just a manual dimension that I put in. And when you do this, this little menu is going to come up. Don't worry so much about that. You want to go to, for instance, like I go to the very end, like here's a point, okay? Now, I need to, if it was going to be just that one feature, to hit the control key and hold it. So I'm control key holding and then click here. And then when I go down, it gets the dimension. If you try to click without doing the control in the between, it doesn't know what you want. So you have to click and hold the control key in between and then place it with your middle mouse button. And once you're done, we just hit, cancel or OK. So that's how you get that dimension in there. So remember, control key after you click the first one, control key, hold it until you click the second one, and then you can release it and then place the dimension. OK, that looks good. And then I just need a flatness on our bottom surface here. So we're going to do GD&T. We're going to put that down here. Now, I think I'll just grab, see what's going to happen is it's going to cross over dimension line. And I'm not crazy about that. That didn't happen up here. So I'm just going to place it close to the bottom, like where I believe I want it. So I'm going to put it right there. The geometric characteristic here is going to be flatness. No datums on form tolerances. So no datum for flatness. Whoops. Let me go back. I'm going to double click on it. My menu will come up. I placed it a little bit too soon. So my value should be 0.003. So basically what we're doing here is we say we're qualifying that surface. So we're going to make it nice and flat by machining it, and then it becomes our datum. So if we go to our datum feature here, and I go hover over the top, it'll become red. I'm going to click with my left mouse button, and then what it's going to do is it's going to automatically then place it for me. Mouse button. Okay. All right. And that's going to be my datum A, which is my datum A. So I can click outside here, and I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Right. It is a little bit close to the border. I think I might move the whole view up, but then I'm going to have to replace. So if I go to layout, notice I have my lock view movement is gray. I have to toggle that off. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to scooch this up just a little bit. There we go. And then I just need to move. Then I'm going to lock it back in place. It'll mouse button and move up. And oh, it's pretty darn close. Okay, I'm good. I'm calling that good. All right. So that is my front view. Let's go over to the right side view. Okay, right side view over here. If we look back underneath dimension here. So really, I think you could get away without it by putting the reference in there, but the drawing, it said they wanted 3 views. I think it's good to do that. So add just a reference dimension over here in that right side view. So back to Creo, and if I don't think there is, if I go back to annotate and I put the dimensions in that view, it's not showing any, right? Because we've kind of used dimensions already in the other 2 views. So I'm going to hit cancel here, and I do need to add a manual dimension. Okay, so manual dimension. I'm not going to click anything up here. I'm going to leave it as is. So my first point, I'm going to go to this endpoint here, click that. I'm going to hit the control and hold, and then click the endpoint here, and then I'm going to place my dimension. Okay, so I'm going to place it right about there, middle mouse button. Now my dimension display comes up. I can click out of that. Dang it. And I'm going to re-click on this, and I'm going to go to dimension text. Okay, dimension text, and then after AF. That's it. Okay, and that view is done. That view is done. Now I'm just going to double kind of check here. It looks like I have everything. Yep. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a little pictorial up in the corner here. All right, before I do, we might as well do a really quick little save. My saves aren't too quick because I've got to, yeah, you'll regenerate now. So it takes a little bit here, but let's add our view up in the corner here. So we're going to go back to the layout tab, and we're going to go to general view. Okay, and we're going to say default all. Okay, and then I just need to click here. Okay, I just need to find the center point of the view that I want. So I'm going to click right there. And if I move this out of the way, it's kind of big. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to scale that view. So I'm going to say custom, and the drawing is I'm going to say 0.333. So just a little bit smaller. I want to see how that looks. I'm going to apply it. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. And then I'm going to go to view state. Nope, I'm going to go to view display, and under follow environment, I'm going to say no hidden. Okay, and I'm going to say apply. And now I can look and oh yeah, that looks good. And I'm going to hit OK. Now I do need to unlock my view movement, and then I can go and I can kind of move this around if I need to. There we go. So you've got a little pictorial view up in the corner there, which is nice, right? If you can fit those on, I think people appreciate that. It gives, I know this isn't a complicated part to figure out what it looks like, but I mean, there are people sometimes that look at the drawings who aren't as good at orthographic projection as you may. So, so it's a nice little aid corner to be sure that we, know what the part looks like. There we go. Our part is done. So now, once you're ready to kind of hand it in, if you would. While we're handing these in, do not hand it in this view, okay? Because it's got these, these little things in here, and it also doesn't show the hidden lines in their proper line style. So what you have to do is I need you to go to print and then print, All right, I didn't click. I click now on the second print here. And then we're going to do a preview out of here. All right, so I'm just going to do a preview. And then remember, you have to roller in and out here. All right, now this is the one that we want to do our screenshot of. Okay, so I'm going to do the Windows Shift S, and I'm going to grab that corner. So not really grab, left click and hold, and release. Okay, now I've got that on my board, if you would. This is going to be what I put into, for instance, a Word document. So I'm going to go down here, Word, and just put, I'll probably put chapter 12, problem 12.1, okay? And then all I'm going to do is do Control V, and it puts that in there. And then I'll add problem number 12.2, and I'll continue this, going forward. So I'm gonna file, save, and I'm gonna just save it to my desktop, probably browse my desktop, and I'm just gonna problems. Okay. Because this is the problems section, if you would. Not that chapter 12 drawings are problems, but you know what I mean. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is I'll keep this here, and then I'm going to close my print setup because I don't need to I'm not going to print the physical drawing, and I'm just going to do one more save on here. Now, once you have this saved, as you know, Creo saves all the previous versions. Before you actually get out of here, what I like to do is do a little file management right out of here. So if I go to manage files and I say delete old versions, that way all the ones that are, the duplicates that I don't want, that aren't the most, are gone now. Okay, and I don't have to go back and manually do that. Okay, and I won't see all those versions in there when I look at my directory. Okay, so I'm all set. That one's all done. I'm just gonna peek back and see if anybody showed up yet. Go down here. I'm trying to find you where the thing is. Where's my black? There it is. Oh, I don't. Oh, Josh is here. Awesome. Okay. All right. Very good. So I'm gonna continue to share. Josh, do you have any questions as I'm looking here? I can see the chat at the moment. Any questions at all? No. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the second problem that we have assigned. Now you're still seeing my screen. So let me go back to Creo here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Close. And before I start a new drawing, I want to manage my session and erase not displayed, because there's always stuff in the background. So I want to say, okay, I want to get rid of that stuff. Now it's clean, like I came in and I started a fresh session of Creo, but I won't have to reselect. Remember that. So I'm just clicking on it right now, and it should take me right to, yep, my Creo 1 working directory where I'm always working out of. So that looks good. All right, so now let's do another new drawing. I did create already my model like I did on the last drawing. Actually, I'm gonna cancel out of this. I actually started this drawing. I didn't finish it yet. So let's do that. I'm gonna open the drawing for the support bracket. You create the support bracket. Here's the drawing. You will need to create the support bracket model. I did that, and I'm in the midst right now of creating this drawing. So I'm not completely done yet, but at this point, I think you kind of know the process in the beginning to go through. So what I've done is I've gotten basically most of my dimensions in place, and they're the ones that that are found on the drawing. So if we go to page 443, and I'll go underneath here. Oops. 443, okay, right here. This is the drawing. So we want to create our drawing. They showed us the two views, and I'm taking their lead, okay? We're gonna do the scheme that they have here. We will need to add a tolerance here, as well as we're going to have to add some GD&T in the couple of paragraphs here. But right now, with the datum scheme and the dimensions, this is what I have on our screen right now. Okay, so I'm at this point before kind of going into the details of what they're looking for. So we go back over here, you'll notice that's exactly what I have. I did differ on their 0.75 reference dimension. They have it going from the side. I did it as a radius because I feel like it's a radius. So I slightly changed that interpretation. But again, as a designer, it wasn't wrong the way they did it, but I felt like that's a radius reference because it's the width of the part and it's, you know, it's centered. So I kept it as a radius dimension as opposed to a distance dimension or a linear distance dimension. But everything else here is what we have for that drawing. So let's go back to the underneath our screen here. And this second paragraph, okay, or I'm sorry, not the second. Let's kind of look here. We have datums A, B, and C, so I have those identified already. And then it says that datum A must be flat to within 4 thousandths, okay, of an inch. So let's go back over here. And I'm going to minimize that. So we need to make datum A. Where's datum A again? Oh, I didn't put datum A on here. Datum A is actually this surface right here. So we need to make that flat, and then it should become datum A. So I don't like what they did then. They kind of led us in the wrong direction. I didn't read quite far enough. I was going to the second one. I thought that this was it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the GD&T and put a like this. I'll do the surface a little bit easier. We'll make this flat, okay? So flatness tolerance, and it needs to be within 4 thousandths. 4 thousandths. There we go, okay? And then we're going to make it datum A. So let's add the datum below it like we normally do. We're going to call that datum A. Cool. All right. And then it says B must be perpendicular to. Darn it. So I'm going to get rid of B as it is right here. And if we got rid of that, and then we're going to add the GD&T, and I'm actually going to add it, I think, right here because I'm not crossing any dimension lines. It's a little bit easier to place. So this one is going to be a perpendicularity of 4 thousandths again, and it's going to be to datum A. Okay, there's that. I can X that out. It's just reminding me that I need a datum when I have a perpendicularity tolerance. And then datum C also needs to be perpendicular to both A and B. So let's get rid of A, X him out. It's the rest of it. And then we can actually add it over here, which I guess this works out okay. So let's do the GD&T. We're going to grab this surface here, and we're going to call middle mouse button perpendicular to 4 thousandths A and B for this one. Let's see, okay, I fit it right there, so it's all good. And then now I just my datum after. Now why am I adding the datum like to the feature control frame? The assumption here is that I didn't do it up on B. I got to add it on B too. The assumption, not the assumption, but it kind of imparts, if you would, and I can put this one up on top because there's more room up there. It lets us know that, oh, after this becomes perpendicular, it's then going to be a datum. If it's not wrong to add it to the surface separately, as you may see sometimes, but it's better if we do it this way because, again, it's kind of giving us that order of operations. Once it's perpendicular or once it's flat, it's now going to be a datum for something else, okay? So this is the better way to do it. I'm going to move this one down. Okay. Use the attachment. Make it more on that surface. There we go. All right. Okay, so I think we're all set up with our datums now. Now we need to add the tolerance to the 5/8 inch hole as well as the position for that. So let's go and look at this guy. So I'm going to click here, and first and foremost, we're going to set this to a limit dimension, and it's telling us that it wants the tolerances to be +3 -0. So I'm sorry, not a limit dimension. We want a plus minus, okay, plus minus. And notice that here is our dimension. I don't know why it's doing it to that. It should be 0.625. And then I'm going to double click back on that. Oopsie, click back on that. And then my tolerance here, when I've got that tolerance up there, it's going to be 0.003 to 000. There we go. Okay. All right. So so there's my dimension for the hole. Now, I do need to add one other thing though, don't I? I need to click back on here. My dimension ribbon comes up, and I'm going to go to the dimension text because there's 2 of them. I need 2 by ahead of that diameter symbol, and then click outside here. Now good. Yeah. Okay. Now the GD&T associated with that one, let's go underneath our camera. It says here's the 5/8. Sorry, let me get this here. It says that we have our hole with the tolerance, okay? And then it says must be located within a diameter of 0.002 of an inch relative to their true position at the maximum material condition to datums A, B, and C. All right, so let's look how we're going to do that. So let me sneak back here. And I need to add a feature control frame here. So I'm going to do my GD&T. It's going to be for position. Okay, so I'm going to change position tolerance, and I am going to have a diameter, because it's a circular feature, add the symbol, diameter symbol in front here, point, and they want it to 0.002 of an inch. Maximum material condition. I need to add M in back of it. Okay, and that's going to be to datums A, B, and C. Okay, click here. There I am. Yep, that looks good. That looks good. And I can just left mouse button in the drawing area. So that takes care of that one. Now, the other one that you need to position is going to be the 3/4 of an inch diameter. So we need to add these 2 tolerances to it as well, same way. And then we're going to have a position tolerance of 0.002 diameter. So let me go back up here. And we're gonna first look at the tolerance here, and we need this to be a tolerance plus minus, and we want it to be plus 0.008, 0.08, and then minus 0. Here we go. Oh, not 10,000s, minus 0. When I click up here, it should be okay. All right. I'm going to. I think that's all I need there, right? There's only one of them, so that should be good. Now I need to add my GD&T tolerance or spec out here. So positional tolerance, okay, a diameter of 0.002, maximum material condition to datums A, B, and C. So it's the same call out as the previous one. Cool. All right, that looks good. Now I need to look here to be sure. Now I have positional tolerance for both of these, right? And my datum reference frames are going to be from the datum A here, datum B, and datum C. So this corner right here, kind of into the screen, the thickness is going to be where my 0, 0, 0 is. So I have to look for each one of these position tolerances that I have. Where do I locate from so I can put my basic dimensions on here? So again, remember, basic dimensions means that I'm not going to use the title block tolerance. I'm going to look to the feature control frame. So this feature control frame controls the position of these 2 holes. This feature control frame controls the position of this hole. We don't want to default to the title block. So when we look at the position or the location dimensions for each of these holes, the location has to come from the datum reference frame. So our 0, 0 is from this top surface and this surface, right? So you'll notice that the 0.875 and the 2.25 locate these 2 holes from this left side where datum C is. So these 2 dimensions need to be basic. So I'm going to click on that dimension. I'm going to come to the dimension ribbon, and underneath tolerance here, I'm just going to say basic so that they put a black box around it. I'm going to go to the next dimension, the 2.25, do the very same thing. basic dimension. And then the 0.75, because it's the locating it vertically down from datum B, this one is going to be a basic dimension as well. Okay. I have one more basic dimension to make, and that's going to be the location of the 0.7 or the 0.75 inch hole. This comes from datum B, which is this top surface here, whether it's in this view or this view. This is still datum B. So this dimension is going to also be a basic dimension because it locates that hole relative to the datum reference frame. Okay. Now, that is it. That is it. That is it. Because this is actually centered on this radius. So there is no basic dimension here because it's centered. It's just straight down and then it's going to be centered on. Okay. So we are good. We are good. I believe that is it for this part. Now, if you wanted to put the pictorial up in the corner here, you could. You could. It's a pretty simple part. So let's see if it would come in, if it would look nice. Okay. I'm going to do a quick save right here because we should have everything accounted for. And then to put that view in, I'm going to go back to layout, general view, default all, and OK. And let's bring it in. We'll kind of put it right up here. I don't know if I even like it. The orientation isn't great. Let's just look at, first of all, scale. Let's make this a little bit smaller. So 1/2 inch, let's do a 0.333. Okay, and let's see how that looks. Yes. I might actually move it over to this corner. That might be a better place for it. And then I'm going to do the view display, follow the environment, and I'm going to go no hidden. And then I'm going to say apply and see what that looks like. It looks okay. And I'm going to hit OK. OK. And I'm going to unlock the view movement, and I'm going to put this like over in the corner here. I don't know. But we'll leave it there. I think it's okay. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go to print, and I'm going to do a quick preview and see what I think. I think I want that little view up over here. So I'm going to close the print out. I'm going to unlock the view movement here. I'm going to put it up over here. And yeah. And then I think I'm going to move my views kind of down and over here. I'm close now with that. All right, so then I'm gonna lock my movement. I'm gonna hit save one more time. And I'm gonna do the manage files, delete my old versions, yes. And then I'm gonna go to print, and do a preview, and then just roller in and out, kind of move this down. And now I'm gonna do I think it looks good. It looks good. I'm gonna do the Windows Shift S over here, and there we go. I'm going to go to my Word document, and I'm going to arrow down, and I'm probably going to have to put this on another page for sure. This isn't going to fit, so I'm just going to insert a page break, and this is going to be what did I say? Problem 12 point, enter, maybe one more enter, and then I'm going to do Control V, and there it is. Okay, and then I'm going to do a file. Oh, I think it's saving it because it's on my OneDrive. So there's my second one. Okay, now again I'm going to have to add. So we'll continue to work on these, but that's the demos for those first two problems. So I'm going to just going to minimize this. I'm going to go back to or to my Blackboard, I will add the drawing guide here for the second drawing, okay, this morning yet, and then just kind of make sure that you're working on first the tutorials. Okay, the tutorials are going to be due on Monday, and then all of the rest of these 5 drawings are going to be due next week Friday. Okay, you'll notice that I added a little bit about machinist vise. I did pick a project for our last project for the last couple weeks of class, so I'm excited about that, and we will look at that after we've gone through all of the problem demos for chapter 12, which will be Monday or Tuesday. We'll be probably done with those. Okay, so that's all that I have for today. I'm going to stop sharing. And Josh, since you're here, do you have any questions at all? Any questions at all? So I'm gonna, if not, that's okay, totally good. Then I will sign off for today. Like I said, okay, good. I will get these up for you so you can reference them back. But otherwise, keep working on these drawings and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Thanks for coming early today. I appreciate it. Have a good day.